Father Richard Rohr made a wonderful statement that I reference frequently, and that is that pain that is not transformed is transmitted. And I think that really speaks to the ministry of victims assistance, but it also speaks to our church as a whole. Because the pain of the sexual abuse of a child happening in the context of our church, being perpetrated by clergy or other trusted adults in our church, that pain, we are transforming. We're not done. And I want to make that clear. We are not done. We haven't nailed it all and we've got it all figured out. We're not done. But we have done a lot of work to learn and truly understand how this tragedy could have occurred, how this betrayal of trust could have occurred, and then work to change that and transform that into programs and protocols and ministries that prevent that from happening again. So yes, my office is busy. We receive reports on a regular basis. The vast majority of those reports are decades old. They're abuse that occurred decades ago. And what we're seeing is that the prevention programs are empowering everyone in our community. The children with language and an expectation that they'll be believed if they make a disclosure about something that makes them either uncomfortable or that crosses boundaries or constitutes abuse. They expect to be believed. That's a change. The adults around are trained in both how to detect those who are trying to work their way around loopholes in a system to gain access to our kids, and also trained in how to respond to someone when they disclose. Not as trauma-trained psychologists, but as that trusted adult who can receive that disclosure and know how to carry it forward. And though that process, we're creating a web, a network of safety. So there are multiple layers that protect a child. There's our background checking and our fingerprinting. There's reviewing the code of conduct and making sure people not only understand, but agree and commit to operating within that code of conduct. So we've created a web of safety in our communities so that we're not getting reports today of current violations that begin to compare to the numbers of the cases from decades ago. And the reports that we do get are very often now children making disclosures about abuse that's happening elsewhere in their lives, and we help carry that forward. I'm just incredibly grateful for and proud of the impact that those prevention programs have had. And not only are we keeping kids safer in our church, but all of that training then goes out into the world beyond the church. You know, some of our kids in religious ed are getting trained in all of this, and then they go back to public schools. And whatever's happening there, whether they're talking with friends or there's an incident, that training doesn't end because they've left the religious ed catechism class, right? That training goes with them. And likewise with our adults. So I believe, I'm confident that we're changing the world with that.